Welcome back. This is the men's Keirin, the first time we've seen them. Jason Kenny in your shot. Sorry, Matt Crampton in your shot, I meant to say. Second round runoff between Scott Sunderland of Australia, Francois Pervy of France, Matt Crampton of Great Britain, Chris Hoy of Great Britain, Jason Kenny of Great Britain, and René Enders of Germany. 3 Brits in the same round.
Yeah, this should be interesting. Are they going to employ some tactics and try and make sure they get one through, or will they sacrifice one person to try and get 2 through? This could be very interesting.
Let's explain the Keirin if you're watching it for the first time. The motorcycle at the front, with the pace of which is controlled by how fast the man turns the pedals, as you can see. No, they don't really make Durney pace bikes big enough for Dutchman. He was riding with his knees out. There we are, a bit Salvatore Comesso style there. He rides around at the front of this line of riders until he pulls off with 2.5 laps to go. And then it's a flat-out sprint. You can jostle for position behind the Durney Pacer, but you can't come past the rear wheel of the Durney Pacer, otherwise you will be eliminated. 3 men from Great Britain then in this runoff. Matthew Crampton, Chris Hoy and Jason Kenny. The German in second spot at the moment is René Enders. And the Australian, Scott Sunderland. The Frenchman is Francois Pervy, who is very, very fast. They're all pretty fast in here. 5 laps to go. The man right behind the Durney Pacer is Jason Kenny. Then René Enders of Germany. In the middle is Matthew Crampton. He is in the white and black striped helmet for GB. Scott Sunderland of Australia, Francois Pervy of France, and right at the back at the moment, the former, well, the world Keirin champion. He has been Sir Chris Hoy.
Going to be very interesting to see how they ride this. This track is not lending itself to big, long efforts, which Chris likes to do in the Keirin, but look, he's stalling straight away. Straight away, 2.5 laps to go, 2 laps to go next time. Still stalling.
Matthew Crampton comes over the top of Jason Kenny at the moment, and leading it out is Scott Sunderland. Crampton in a good position, Sunderland looking over the shoulder, trying to hold him on the hip. Who's going to come from behind? Look out for Francois Pervy of France, and René Enders getting through the middle. Crampton's got this one, has he? 1 lap to go.
Chris Hoy is going to have to put in a massive effort here.
Well, the other thing about Chris Hoy, he just needs to commit. That's what they've been saying in the British camp. Get your head together and commit. Crampton looks like he's got it from a long way out. Hoy gets third. Enders second.
This track really isn't suiting people that make big, long efforts. It's really suiting explosive riders. Chris Hoy there, he held back as long as he could. Very, very high indeed, up on the blue line, and it's you know, it takes it out of you. It's really going to take it out of him in the next couple of rounds. He's been riding a long, long time now, got lots of experience.
Niblet, Perkins, Bourgain, Maximilian Levy, Toren Mulder, Ed Dawkins. That is the lineup for race 2 in this second round, and Toren Mulder will be desperate to get through unscathed.
The Dutch media have been very scathing of their team so far, saying, you know, they're making excuses about the track, and the women's team pursuit moved up 2 notches, but the Great Britain women's team pursuit squad has moved up 10 notches, and they're just saying that their riders are making excuse after excuse, and they haven't got anything out of these championships yet. So Toren Mulder, a very, very big personality over here. You know, we were driving down here yesterday, and there's his photo on the back of the bus, and you could probably hear in the background the applause that he was getting there. He's a very, very big personality, very popular with the crowd. He's got a big profile over here, so let's just see the Dutch squad spending a lot of money on track cycling at the moment. They've got one of the ex-German sprinters, René Wolf, who's now their sprint coach. Robert Slippens, the ex-6-day rider, is their endurance coach. And lots of nations having to really invest money in track cycling to try and keep up with Great Britain and now Australia and France and Germany, who are all moving up in the sprint rankings very, very quickly indeed.
Dawkins nearest to you, being held up in the black of New Zealand. Next to him, Shane Perkins being pushed off by Sean Eadie. Great sprinter, obviously, and takes the lead position behind the Durney pace bike to Shane Perkins. Behind him is Maximilian Levy of Germany. Then Dawkins of New Zealand. Bonga in the yellow overshoes and the blue of France. Toine Mulder second from last at the moment, and bringing up the rear is Jason Niblett. You won't be worried about that at the moment. Toine Mulder usually likes to start somewhere near the back and leaves his throw till quite late. Actually, he comes from very late.
Yeah, don't forget he's been kilo world champion as well, so he's not quite the same as Chris Hoy. He wasn't 100% dedicated to the kilo. It wasn't where he came from. He's always been in and around match sprinting and keirin riding and kilo riding and the team sprint obviously as well. So he's a very versatile sprinter. So it'll be interesting to see how he rides this, because home advantage, he's probably been on this track for the last 2 years, getting to know it and how it rides. So be very interesting to see how he rides this. Cameraman obviously concentrating on him.
6 laps to go. Remember, you can't get any further forward than the rear of that Durney pace bike. If you can jostle amongst yourselves behind it. You usually don't, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they want to move up and take different positions. You could all be line abreast almost if you wanted to, but you're not allowed to go past the rear wheel of the Durney pace bike. It'll pull off with 2.5 to go. The speed increases. This should be another, well, they're all high quality rounds. Some really top class keirin riders here. It's Shane Perkins on the rear wheel of the Durney pace. It's going to come off very soon. He's slowing the pace down a little bit. Maximilian Levy looking over his shoulder, another champion rider. Ed Dawkins from New Zealand, a bit of an unknown quantity, but a coming rider. Perkins leads the back, looking over his shoulder. They still haven't opened up the sprint yet. Are they jostling for places? Here comes Levy. He opens it up first. Still not the bell lap, remember.
Tell you what, Dawkins is out on an absolutely massive gear. Bourgain goes past him like he's standing still. Bourgain, the very slight sprinter, who's on a comeback.
Here he comes then over the top of Maximilian Levy. He's got the whole shot at the moment. Toine Mulder has moved up on his wheels. Great riding by Toine Mulder. The home crowd are going mad. Bourgain is holding him on the hip at the moment. Can he come over the top of him? Mulder wants to take this one. No! It's Shane Perkins who gets through the middle. I think that was Perkins who got that one ahead of Mulder and Bourgain. They're the 3 riders who'll go through on this occasion. Well, the Dutch crowd loving the fact that Toine Mulder